Hello, everybody. I have my feline overlord, Mr. Mikey, in the middle of everything. I'm sorry I'm late. Oh my gosh, how's everybody doing? Happy April 4th. 4/4. It is now 4:04 p.m. What a beautiful time to get on. You know what? You follow the divine flow and magic like that happens. It's April, fourth month. April 4th, 4/4 at 4:04 p.m. I love it. I hope everybody's doing good. I hope everybody is doing good. We're coming up on Easter. Today we are talking about Jesus and Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary and some of the things that you don't hear about in the classic tales. You don't hear about a lot of the things that are not necessarily in the Bible, although there's parts of them that are in the Bible. One of them, of those things that so many of us are aware of, is that Jesus and Mary of Magdala were married, that they were a couple, that they were co-joined, whatever the word is that we use these days, and that it was a sacred. Oh, hi, Rach! Yay! It's so fun to see you. I'm so happy. Um, yeah, it is a good subject for this week because this is the week that is ascension. It's This week is about the initiation for ascension. If I'm not mistaken, today being Tuesday, I believe it was the day that um, Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane and was saying, God, take this cup from me. I don't think I want to do this. I changed my mind. Make it stop. Because he realized what was going on. And you can feel it when you see the stories, and when you immerse yourself in the energy of it. You can feel his heartbreak. You can feel him being like, holy crap, this is real. I don't know if Jesus says holy crap, but I'll tell you what, if I was Jesus, I would have, because he knew what was happening. He knew what was going on. And so one of the things is we have to realize, because all of us are on our own ascension path, right? We're all in the initiation part of ascension right now. That's why things are so freaking weird and hard, and we're being put to test, and our own shadows are coming up, and we're having these experiences that are profound but confusing, but we're awakening, but we've got the past, and we're in all this. And this is the initiation for ascension. That is exactly what's going on. And that's what Jesus was doing during this week up to his crucifixion and ascension. And, if you think about it, his crucifixion was his initial initiation. He went through that trial of being shown before the world as the worst of the worst, until he became the best of the best, right? We're the least among you, right? And so he had so many different prophecies to fulfill, so many promises to fulfill in his walk. And he did say, too, that we didn't have to do that anymore, that we didn't have to be the sacrifice anymore, that he took that upon himself. And he said, I take the sins of the world upon me. And in this, he took it so that we didn't have to have that level of an initiation for our ascension. But he also said, the way to my Father is through me. And a lot of people believe it's, worshiping Jesus. Well, he also said, don't worship me, right? It's the Father. And who's the Father? We're going to talk about that too. The Father is the divine masculine, the activating principle that is the creator. And when he says, worship the Father, even the word worship, when translated, started out as acknowledge, bear witness to, be in faith of that divine masculine plan, that divine creator energy, which I call them in my studies, the primal light, right? The primal sound. In the beginning was the word, and the word became manifest. In the beginning was primal sound, the Om. Om. And from that sound, light was created and all things manifested. That's what he's talking about. He's not talking about some God sitting up in heaven checking off to see if you're good or not. He's talking about bear witness to the creative energy, the masculine energy, the creative energy. Feminine energy is the receptive energy. Masculine energy is the action, right? Bear witness, acknowledge the action. And when Jesus said, the only way to that is through me, it doesn't mean worship him. It says, look at what he did. Look at what he taught us. Bear witness to the truths that he told us. And one of the biggest ones was love one another, right? He said, love one another. Of all these things, love one another. And it's become so complicated and so convoluted and so twisted and distorted that all of a sudden we have millions of people worshiping a man who did his best, who in his humanity was not perfect, but is told he was perfect. And we can never reach that because we're sinners. And that's not what Jesus taught us at all. He walked amongst the sinners. He brought the sinners, the bad people, the lowly, in as his disciples, right? He didn't teach us that we were lowly. He taught us that we were mighty and great. He taught us that we were sacred and holy. He taught us that God was within us. The kingdom of heaven is within. The kingdom of God is within. That's what he taught us. That's what he's saying is the way to the Father is through me, is the teachings he gave us, that we might understand that the Father, the creative principle, the primal sound of creation is within us. And you know how that primal sound manifests itself as our words, our voice. You feel your chest and your heart vibrating when you speak. Another thing that is so powerful, if you've ever done singing, toning, chanting, any of those kind of sacred type things, you feel it here. It opens your heart up. It opens up all that energy. All of that is a part of what he's talking about. And so when we start to look at it from that point of view, when we start to see things from a different point of view, when we take the religious teachings off, and I'm not saying religion is bad, religious institutions brought all this information out. Now we need to shift and start looking at what was really meant, And the thing with Mary Magdalen, she was called, a whore and everything. And maybe she was, and that she was possessed with demons. Maybe she was. There's teachings that she was mentally ill, probably with what I've heard and what I read is probably was like something like schizophrenia, and he healed her. He touched her. He said, I see you. God is within you. God is within you. You have everything within you to be whole, and he just told her that. You have everything within you to be whole. And the truth of his word and the presence of his faith within the truth that he taught cast out demons. Were they demons? Maybe they were. There's two different ways of looking at that. I do know that a lot of addiction and a lot of mental illness, there tends to be entity type creatures, associated with that kind of stuff. It's kind of like what came first, the demon or the disease, But either way, we treat it. We know how to treat it now, or how to heal it. Got to use the right words. I am not a doctor, nor do I pretend to be one. But we know what we need to do. We need to raise our frequency. We need to be in love. We need to feed ourselves on healthy words and activities and food and everything we need to keep our mind and our consciousness in the positive. And one of the things that's so beautiful is when Jesus set Mary Magdalene free, she became his disciple just by sheer relief that something like that could happen, and his willingness to be with her. It's another depiction of the lowest of the low. They used to put her almost like in a jail cell when she would get crazy. It wasn't even a jail cell, it was more like an animal cage. And she would get crazy and scream and howl and growl and in her illness, and then she'd come out and she'd be like sweet, wonderful person. And, even the the religious leaders of the day tried to cast out the demon. The demon's like, "Pfft, who are you? You're a false teacher anyways." Right? But when the real teacher came, Jesus just had to say, "No, you know, you don't have the power or the authority here." And so we have so many powerful teachings in this when we can shift and understand that there's so much more to what's happening, and there's so much gloriousness. And this is part of this ascension walk that we're on, is deprogramming from what we've been told. And again, I'm not bashing religion because I love going to church. I go to Jewish synagogue, I go to Mormon church, I go to Christian church, I go to Catholic church, I go to Metaphysical church, I go to the Buddhist temples, I go to all of them. I was raised doing all that stuff. I love being in a place of worship because no matter what they teach there's a majority of people that are there with good hearts and souls that are seeking this God that so many of us have been told that's outside of us. And it's really within us. And that was such an important teaching that Jesus brought that's kind of glossed over, because of the whole sinner thing. But we are perfected within us. And that's what this whole Easter thing is. That's why this holiday is so much my favorite, because it shows us the possibility of each and every one of us. And we know every 2,000 years or so, these astronomical alignments, these alignments come up to where we have these opportunities. There's a teaching, I talked to you guys a lot about Keylontic science, and it's the 900 million year history of humanity, basically. We've been around a long time in a lot of different forms. We've had a lot of other influences. We've had, influences from what we would call ET nations. We've had a lot of different influences on us. But the modern human, we're in this 2000 year cycle where we have this opportunity for us to shift and to move into, again, an ascension cycle, which is what Jesus was in. It was part of what the whole star, Venus, the star that was followed, it was a planet, but that followed, the three wise men followed to find Jesus at his birth. There were a lot of signs in the sky, and the Bible even talks about the end days, right? About the signs will be in the sky. And we just had a planetary alignment. We've got all kinds of stuff going on right now. And it's the Easter, right? It's the Easter. It is the beginning. And before they changed the calendars around, I think it was, what is it, Julius or Gregorian? I don't remember which one it is. April 1st-ish, which is always close to Easter, was the beginning of the year. It was the beginning of a new cycle. It was the beginning of a new year. And so we're at the beginning again. We're at the ascension, the rising to a new level, to the new opportunities, to the new openings. And that's what ascension is, because it's not like, whew, we finally got there. Okay, we've arrived. The work is done. It's like, no, it's just being birthed into another level, kind of like death, right? We don't die. We drop this thing that's only good for so long. It's been programmed by whoever did our genetics this time around, that would only live a certain time. And there's been a lot of, environmental influences that has shortened the lifespans. But, we don't die. We just move into we're rebirthed into another plane of existence. And so it's so fun when you're able to start looking at things with this different sort of point of view. It makes this time of year so exciting. And there's also, I've always felt like as soon as I realized that Mary Magdalene really was someone of importance, and I've known it for a long time, I don't even know how I knew, um, but that maybe even a wedding or the wedding of Jesus and Mary, or Marian, as she's sometimes called, Miriam, was in April, was in this time of the new year and everything too. It feels wedding-ish, it feels wedding-ish. And so it's so fun. It's so fun. There's a lot of history. I teach a lot of this stuff in my classes, my Wednesday evening meditations. I call it 5D meditation and spiritual teachings for awakening. And we talk about a lot of this kind of stuff. We do a lot of different things. If anybody wants to join us, you guys are more than welcome to. So on my website there, micheleambergy.com. But I wanted to bring this awareness to Jesus and some of his teachings, and Mary Magdalene, and of course Mother Mary. A few minutes ago, I was referencing the Kalantic science, and a big part of the Kalantic science and the where this information of all this stuff is stored is in what is called the CDT plates, the cloistered duratura plates, that are etheric plates that all this information is stored on, and they're not under with in my understanding, they're not even stored here on the planet. They're literally etheric plates. Um, in the movie, and I've never seen them, so but how I envision this is in the movie Avatar, when these guys were working with these screens that were etheric. They were in the air, they would move their hand and they would pull up another screen and they could pass them over. They weren't on like glass or anything like that, although some of them were, but a lot of them were literally just brought up. That's my understanding of what these cloister duratura, these CDT plates are, that have all this information. A lot of it is symbolic, a lot of it is etheric, a lot of it is direct download. There was another show that was on, it was a series, I think it was on Netflix or Prime, that was called Alphas. And I can't find it anywhere now, but there was a kid who had autism, and he could literally reach out into the air and grab information out of the air, and he could put things together and open almost like spaces where he could see where things were working. He could tap into phone calls and computer things in the air and all kinds of stuff. It was crazy. That's how I envision these CDT plates too, is they are in existence, but we don't have access to them. So, and also there's certain people that are allowed to have access to them to bring the teachings to humanity. My understanding is Jesus, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene. So kind of Jesus and Mary Magdalene together is one. Mother Mary and John the Baptist were the three that were able to bring this information through 2,000 years ago. And that's why Jesus understood all of this information about God being within and about frequency, love one another. And he spoke to the people in the way that they could understand, right? And so now we have so much more technology. And so now we can actually be told, hey, these etheric plates, that are accessed through consciousness, and that are bits and pieces of the information have been taken, stored, distorted as well. It's believed that the emerald tablets of Thoth hold a lot of that information. I was raised in the Mormon church, and there is information that the Mormon church was given these golden tablets by the angel or archangel Moroni, who gave the Mormons custody or stewardship over some of this information, which is why they are the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They had the information about these latter days and what is happening, what the return of Jesus was going to be, ascension, awakening, all that kind of stuff. And so it's interesting. It's like when you start studying, and again, it's Keylontic, Keylontic science. And it's kind of hard to find. It's not out there in the open. It's an inner mystery school kind of teaching. And some things that are put out there, is taken down. And but it's out there and it's fascinating. And there's a huge body of work that is available. And I've been looking at it. Hey, Miss Jules. I've been looking at it for a couple of years and I've just barely like scratched the surface, but I felt very moved to begin teaching the little bit that I do know. And I do teach about the dimensions and about our time matrix, and that there are densities and dimensions. A lot of people think that we're going to 5D. Woohoo! Once we get to 5D, we're there, we're in heaven, we've made it. No, unfortunately, not. But we're part of the way. And when we leave this third dimension and move through the fourth into the fifth, we do lose a lot of the density, so we have a little more access to the higher dimensions. But we're actually in a 15 dimensional time matrix, which is only one time matrix of many, many, many time matrices. There is um, it's a sacred geometrical form called a Kathara. And our time matrix is part of that Kathara matrix, which is part of the true eternal tree of life, which is part of the Merkaba, which is one of billions of these sacred geometrical forms that contain life. And so even that coming out of my face just is like, whoa, that's big. It's huge. And when we contemplate eternity, this is all a part of it. So if anybody is feeling like they want to get into it, I'm happy to give you some more information on where to access some of this information. But it's so exciting because it does tie into Easter, and it does tie into the initiation of what Easter is about, is ascension, right? The return of the Christ. And what he talked about, I'll be back, right? I'll be back. And most people don't realize that he did come back. He came back in his ascended form, but also that he, they, them will be back again. And part of it is happening through us, right? We're becoming aware of Christ consciousness. We're beginning to awaken. And is it Christ consciousness, the consciousness of Jesus? No, it's Christ. It is, and it's actually spelled Kryst. It's the Christ or the Christ, which is a consciousness of pure, unconditional love. And as we begin to awaken and we begin to move away from the programming of this third dimensional, limited matrix that we're in, and we begin to contemplate, we begin to allow ourselves to receive informational downloads and receive uploads from our own DNA, that is awareness and knowledge and wisdom and knowing, gnosis. We begin to realize that we've been living in a very narrow box, and that we now have opportunity to awaken. That's why it's all happening right now. And technology is helping us, being able to do this and talk about this right here. you know 50 years ago, we wouldn't be talking about this. We would still be trapped. So the world is awakening. The boxes are opening. Our minds and our hearts and our soul and our very DNA is opening up. And meditation and prayer and, sacred work, yoga, moving the body, kundalini work, breath, um, doing mantra and toning. I do a lot of that. I'm actually a certified vocal sound healer, where we do toning, and there's also toning that is on the Chris, the KRY ST, that is actually Ka Ra Ya Sa Ta, and you do it as a toning thing where it's Ka Ra Ya Sa Ta, and you do it at each of the chakra levels. So you'd focus on the root chakra and Ka Ra Ya Sa Ta. Go through it. You can do it one time, two times, three times, any either one time or three, any multiple of three. Start slow. It's really powerful. That opens up and balances and awakens us. And that's all what this is about. And I know I've really gone into some wide open stuff and really open some doors here. But that's what this was intended to be. The truth about Jesus and Mary Magdalene is they were bringing in the story of the ascension. They were bringing in the information to save humanity. And after Jesus was here, we've been in a very kind of dark sort of thing, especially the dark ages, right, where there's been so much war since he's been here. It just seems like there's been a war and pestilence and all that stuff since he left, since his ascension. But it's our turn now. It's our turn to stand up and stand in the Christ energy and be in the Karaya Sata, to be in the Christ, because we're awakening, and we're awakening because everything is in alignment to do so. There's so many different things. That's what the Mayan calendar was talking about too, right? A new earth, the new earth. It's all happening, but it's not happening overnight. It's not happening in that twinkling of an eye. Sure would be nice if it would be, because this is hard. Right? It's hard, it's confusing, and it's scary, but we got it. And we're all finding each other. And again, thank God for technology. Thank God for Mark Zuckerberg for creating Facebook. Thank God for all of this that we have, that we can connect with. There's a lot of negativity, and it's used, for a lot of nefarious means, but you know what? We can use it for whatever we want it to. And we can use it to gather together and be together and talk and communicate and share and love one another. And that's why I do this. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here today, to share with you Easter, guys. It's Easter. It's Ascension. This is a time for happiness and joy and abundance and the spring. How many of you guys are hearing the birdies singing outside? Oh my gosh, I love it. I woke up this morning and it was kind of cold and chilly. It was a little gray and overcast, and I didn't want to get up, and I was all snuggly in my bed, and then I heard the birdies singing outside. And I was just almost like, felt like they were going, rise up, get up and move. And so I did. I got up, I started moving, and I've just had this wonderful day today, and I keep hearing them outside. I've got doves on my chimney, so when they coo, I can hear it echoing down the chimney and into the living room. It's so cute. It's so sweet. So I hope this gave you guys a little sprinkle of information of how to look at Easter and the initiation into ascension, and kind of what Jesus modeled for us. Of course, it's much, much deeper. It's not stuff that I can give you, a deep teaching. But come and join me on Wednesdays, and we talk about stuff like this and many other things. We talk about all kinds of stuff. We just learned how to line up our astrology charts. I'm not an astrologer. Oh, thank you, Karen. You're so sweet. You're the best, honey. Takes one to know, takes one to know one, right? And so, yeah, if you guys are interested, come join us. We got a great group of meditators. Um, and one of the things that I do offer too, it's the meditations are $25 each week. And it's meditation, it's spiritual teaching, and each week is meditation. It's actually channeled through me. Each week is different. We don't do the same thing. Sometimes some of them are similar, but we go deep and we expand. Some of them are profound, and I record them too, right? So even some of our recordings, our recorded meditations, I have for sale on my website as well. So again, that's micheleambergy.com. If you go to the Academy, Conscious Living Academy tab at the top, you will find all kinds of stuff in there too. Classes, you find my calendar, you find my membership. I have a membership that actually includes the Wednesday meditations. And you also get, every week, you guys each get a quick little angel reading. I do a little live on our private Facebook group, and we have a lot of fun. We have really loving, wonderful people, and people pop in there and check it out. Some stay, some don't. And it's called A Million I Love Yous. And the whole thing is to bring a million I love yous out into the world by learning to love ourselves and being love and gathering together with loving people. So it's pretty cool. And if you join the memberships, $33 a month, you get all the meditations included. So you can save a lot of money. So come check out the meditation, see if it's something you like. And if you like it and think you want to do it, join the membership, and then it's way less expensive. So we're going to do a few readings right now. And this is a lot of times I take readings off. So we just have the teaching. But because of the week that it is, and because we're getting messages from Mother Mary and from Jesus, I'm going to go ahead and leave them up. And I just want to state right now that all of these messages are for anyone that it resonates with. If you feel like this message is for you, no matter when you're watching it, if you're watching it around Easter 2023, which is when this is happening, or anytime throughout the year, or 5 years from now, if it resonates with you, the message is for you. I want to say today that this is really a group consciousness kind of a reading thing. And you know what? I love you guys. It's so cool to be able to be aware of the bigger picture, of the bigger vision, of the bigger journey, of the bigger knowing, if you will. I mean, for lack of a better word, and be able to see like all this tragedy and all this mayhem and all this nonsense that's going on this planet, that most of it is just, it's not even totally real if you don't want it to be. And I know that's just sounds so pie in the sky, but if you shift your perception and you really start looking at things, it's like we're the masters of our own experience. We guide our own experience, and it's guided by what we have faith in, right? What we believe in, faith, belief, it's all this basically the same word. And we see this crazy stuff, and I was reading something, it's like the stock market's crashing and money's never going away and we're all going to get chips on our heads or whatever all this stuff is. And I have to take a moment. I mean, it kind of was freaking me out actually, but I had to stop and say, but what's happening right now? And it's like, I'm fine. My bank's still open. There's still money in there. I'm still getting paid. PayPal and Venmo still working for you guys to pay me, for my clients and students to pay, and it's just, it's all okay. And if we keep our mind and we keep our faith in that, that becomes our reality. And that's a lot of what Jesus was teaching us too. He walked through what he walked through to fulfill some prophecies. But he also was able to do that with that knowing and understanding that he was taking all that away from this world, and he was willing to do it. And we don't have to go that far. We don't have to go that far, but we can have our faith in ourselves and our ability to create lives that are full of love and peace and harmony, despite what's going on out there. Despite, if we had abusive families or abusive marriages or cruel people around it, we can be who we are. We have authority over our experience, and deprogramming from all that stuff in the past is, it's this ascension walk. It's this initiation. So I want to applaud all of you guys, because any of you that are here and listening and who come at the beginning of the show every week, especially, but even if you just pop in and happen to make it, you're here for a reason. You're here to hear this today and anytime. Every Tuesday that I do this, you're here because your soul brought you here, and these messages are important. And I have a lot of people that listen to this just kind of like they have it on in the house and they're just wandering around. It's just marinating in their subconscious, right? It's all good. It's all good. It's all beautiful. It's all in perfect timing, perfect divine timing. And you'll hear this when you hear it. And when you do, take a moment and thank yourself for bringing you to this little itty bitty tidbit of information that's maybe a puzzle piece in the wholeness that is you. Because you're awesome. You guys are so awesome. It's so amazing. All right. Hey, Moon. Thank you so much. And thank you, Karen, again. It's so nice. Thank you guys for being here and for listening. So let's do some cards. We are using my darling Doreen Virtue. I know some people are mad at her. I appreciate her. I would not have found angelicness, Doreen Virtue. So loving words from Jesus and the Mary Queen of Angels Oracle cards. So and yeah, Mary Magdalen is here with us too. And I just want to very quickly just call upon the presence of the Christ and the divine feminine Christ and the divine masculine Christ to just be with each and every one of us, any who are open to receive this, just to enlighten our minds, lighten our hearts, and allow us to begin to experience more and more love and truth and peace and harmony within our bodies, within our minds, and within our worlds. And as we allow this inflow and upwelling of truth with a capital T, with wisdom and knowledge and sacred and holy presence, that we then begin to emanate that out into the world, and it begins to create experiences in our world that reflect back to us the truth of this love. And I just ask this for all of life, for each and every one of you that are here live or watching later, and all of life everywhere. And I know that when I ask, it's done, because I claim that authority, and so it is. So very good. So Moon, let's pull you some cards, and then Hillary, I'll get to yours. I'm letting it marinate. It's kind of coming in. It's kind of coming in. Yes, no, we're not. I am not doing Bible study. I am doing higher truth of Christ's teachings. So, Moon, your teaching from Yeshua Jesus Christ consciousness is, I pray for Jesus's help and guidance with this situation. Now, for Morningstar asking about doing a Bible study, I'm using the word Jesus and I'm using the word Mother Mary and I'm using the word God, but I'm talking about the very highest 15th dimensional consciousness of all of this. We are using common words, but when I say the word Jesus, I mean Christ consciousness, 12th dimensional consciousness, far beyond what most people understand. And the teachings, and if you want to hear about what we're doing, you go back to the beginning of this and you hear what's been said, and you'll understand a lot more. The Bible has a lot of great information. We just need to look at it from the higher perspective with which it was meant. So, Moon, I pray for Jesus's help and guidance with the situation. Now, we understand this isn't something outside of you. Christ consciousness is within you. When we talk about praying, we talk about taking your awareness into your most inner, sweetest place. I call it the heart chakra, or the portal of the soul. And find your truth and your wisdom in there. Find your peace and harmony there. You have everything within you need to be whole and perfect. And then your message from Jesus is your Heavenly Father knows that you have need of all these things. So when we talk about Heavenly Father, Jesus taught us the kingdom of heaven is within. The Father is within. So your Heavenly Father is the knowledge, what you have, your eternal knowledge, your eternal connection to all that is. We call that Christ consciousness, the center of love. Knows what you need and is willing to give you all that you need. But you have to turn your attention into that and learn to commune with the Christ consciousness, with God that's within you. It's nowhere outside of you. Never has been. But we were taught this because we were taught to give our power away. We're not doing that anymore. That's what this initiation and this ascension process that we're going through right now is about. Right? So pray for the Christ help. Your Heavenly Father knows that you need these things. Listen to it. Listen to it. So, Moon, that was for you, hon. So we had Hillary here. What do I need to know about releasing, letting go, and allowing for my best and highest good in regards to my pilot fundraising page? Let's see. Yeah. Oh, people. Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right, Hills. Sorry about that. I had to clear a little thing out. It's just some comments I don't want on my feed. And this is my show, and I can do what I want. So, your message from Mother Mary is forgiveness. I'm willing to release old resentments so that I might enjoy my life. Ooh. Message from Jesus. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. So, Hillary, I want to say, do you be the best that you can be? Turn your awareness to your inner wisdom and yet let your light shine from that. I mean, that is one of the highest ways that you can go in. And when I say highest, it's not highest outside of you, it's frequency high. You know, we have this person making these comments about, oh, the beast, blah, blah. We're not talking about that shit. Forgiveness. I'm willing to release old resentments so that I may enjoy my life. Hillary, that's part of it too. Make sure that you're enjoying life, that you're being in the presence of joy, that you're allowing joy and happiness in your life. And then let your light shine. That's what they're talking about. Let it be a joyful experience, not a work, not a toil, but a joyful thing. Put all your joy into it and it'll manifest what you are looking for. That's kind of cool, Health. That's way cool. Karen, what do I need to know to make me a better person? Oh, Karen, you're not a bad person. You're not a bad person at all. That's what you need to know. But I'll pull you a message. I'll pull you a card. And you know what, Karen, I want to say too, just the fact that you can ask that question shows that you're a good person, you know? And a lot of times we're told by other people that we're not a good person because we're not getting caught up in their drama or their agenda. Does make you a bad person. And I don't know why I said that because I don't know anything. It's just what's coming through. So Karen, let's see what Jesus has for you and what Mother Mary has for you. Oh, Mother Mary saying, mercy, I'm kind and thoughtful towards myself and others. I'm kind and thoughtful towards myself and others. And so what this is really talking about is God, I can just feel it in you, Karen. It's like you're a really good person. Be who you are and don't let other people's tell you that you're not just because you're not doing what they want or how you are. And it's interesting because your Jesus message is heal the sick that are therein and say unto them, the kingdom of God is come nigh unto you. Meaning, God is within you. What do you need to know to make you feel like you're a better person? God is within you. So the way you talk to yourself, would you talk to God that way? The way you think about yourself, would you think about Jesus that way? And if not, Start treating yourself the way you would treat God or Jesus. If you're a Jesus person, Christ, the Christ consciousness, whatever words we use for that. Treat yourself the way that you would treat the highest of high. Talk to yourself that way. Because you are. God's within us. It's never been outside of us. We were just told that, so we turn our authority and our power and our strength and our money. I'm kind and thoughtful to myself and others. The kingdom of God has come nigh unto you. It's in you. It's you already. I hope that helps you. I hope that blesses you. And that's something for all of us to remember, So important. Linda, I would like a message for whatever I need to hear right now. Perfect. Love that. Yep. And that's awesome. That's awesome, Karen. We all do, right? We all do. We all want to be the best that we can be. And when we begin to realize who we truly are, when we begin to remember who we truly are, it'll be easy to be the best that we can be, because we'll remember that, God is within us, wanting to move in, through, and as us. All we got to do is get out of the way and let it, right? Let him, let her, let them, let that consciousness move through us. So Linda, ring. Ooh. And Mother Mary. Okay. So Linda, you have the book, the book. You have the card Enthusiasm from Mother Mary. What I am most passionate about is the direction that I follow. This is such a great card. Whatever I'm most passionate about is the direction I follow. Isn't that beautiful? It's because when you're passionate about something, you're putting your energy towards it, right? You're feeling that energy. And then the Jesus message is, ask and you shall receive, that your joy may be full. How beautiful is that? Linda, whatever I'm most passionate about is the direction I follow. Ask and you shall receive, that your joy may be full. It's like, be in your passion, honey. What do you love? What do you love to do? Put your energy there. What do you love? What do you love? What are you passionate about? Gardening, singing, painting, standing out and watching the clouds flow by? What makes you happy? Right? Go do that. Get more of that in your life. That's what it's about. We get so caught up in the nonsense that we don't take the time for these things. This is how we connect to God, right? It's by being in our passion and being in our joy. That's God moving through us. All this other survival stuff is distraction. It's distortion. Don't tell them I told you so. They don't want you to know. This is all beautiful. Joshua, what secrets do I know? I don't know any secrets. None of it is secret. What secrets do you know? Go within. You tell me, what secrets do you know, dude? Linda. Yeah. Isn't that cool? It's so simple. It's so easy. We have access to all. We have access to everything. Oh, Linda. Yay. That's what I've been doing all weekend, crafting. Yes. Be where you love to be. It's so information. It's so important. That's where we're communing with that sacred place within. It's where God's everywhere, right? It's in your crafts. That's what I started. You guys know that I started painting. I love painting. Oh my God. It's so funny. My poor teacher, she started to do a second class. I'm like, can I come to that one too? Yeah, Joshua, you do. You always know everything. So it's very good. Joshua, go watch from the beginning. I shared those secrets at the beginning. So very good. Like I said, Joshua, go look at the beginning. You got to watch the whole thing. So, looks like we are almost at 5 o'clock. So, thank you guys so much. I hope that I got everybody's energy pumping in the right direction, being in the energy of love and peace and harmony. Do 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 Papa. Yeah. It's always those people that just want to be arseholes. All right. So I hope you guys all have a great Easter. I hope you guys just find time to do those things that you love to do, that you just feel like in harmony with in your soul. Find a little bit of time every day and do that, every day, just a little bit, just a little bit. You don't have to do any more than just a little bit every day. And even taking those moments, when you just take a minute in your day and just take a breath and just feel your heart and just move in and just say, hello, God. Hello, God that is expressing as me. I love you. It does wonders for your attitude and your well-being. Yeah. I love it. All right, guys. I'm going to run. I have awesomeness. I have got Easter cookies to bake and Easter eggs to decorate and all kinds of fun stuff. So I hope you guys have a great week. Sharon and I are on Thursday. I don't know what we're talking about. I'm going to go contact her right now and figure it out. You'll see it posted in there. And I love you guys. Love is something that is universal and infinite, and we can just share it just from our hearts wherever it needs to go. And part of love is saying no when you need to say no, and saying yes when you need to say yes. And to you guys, I just want to say yes. Mwah. I love you guys. Everybody have a great week, a great Easter. And if I don't see you before, I'll see you next week. Stay